Welcome to Scott's Inverts. So I'm Scott. These are the inverts. Today we are rehousing our linothele sericata, setting her up in an absolutely stunning enclosure, a bit bigger than what normal people normally do. This is because I want to kind of push the boundaries and experiment a little bit and see if this spider is willing to actually web up the whole of this bigger enclosure. Anyway, let's get into today's video. So on screen is our linothele sericata from Portsmouth Tarantulas. I think it was about 20 quid, not badly priced. And there it is in that small container, webbed up really well. And we're going to put it into a 30 by 30 by 30 enclosure to give it more room, give it room to web, burrow, see what it does, hopefully be a bit more natural for it. So we've got a drainage layer with some netting between that and the soil. The actual netting is weed control, and the weed control doesn't damage our spider's legs, so it's absolutely perfect. Leventon's topsoil, absolutely brilliant. Now what I'm doing here is just making some starter burrows in and around the enclosure, so hopefully it might go down into one of those, it might web up, it might hit those anchor points that we're going to put into this enclosure in just 1 minute, who knows, but we will find out in the forthcoming months. I'll be really interested to see actually if it does actually utilise one of those burrows. So what we're going to do now is put some branches in covered in that wonderful moss, and then also line the floor with moss. So just while we're doing that, let me tell you that this is also known as a Colombian curtain web spider, and it's obviously found in Colombia and all across South America. And it was first described by Ferdinand and Crouch and in 1879, and when they named it and put it into the genus linothele, and they also named it sericata. Since then, several other taxonomists have come along and they've changed its name, most recently to Megathaloides, and now in 2023 it's gone back to sericata, which it was originally named by Crouch in 1879. So these pieces of timber that we've got covered in moss, literally just old ivy branches that we found on the forest floor. These will create hiding spots as well as webbing points. That one at the front is actually a piece of bark and it's hollow, so it could actually go in that and use the whole section of that at the front as a massive hide. And what we're doing now is just putting some sticks, again from off the forest floor, in upright positions. So hopefully our spider might even climb those and use those as anchor points. And what I'll do is just continue to put more and more anchor points in for this spider in the hope that it creates a lovely web castle. Now the humidity with these guys, we don't have to go OTT, even though they are mainly from Colombia and their rainforests around there. We don't have to increase the humidity to being absolutely drenched. Literally that Leventon's topsoil, how damp it looks on screen now, is exactly how you need it. The moss that we've gathered from the forest floor is also slightly, only ever so slightly moist, and that's more than enough to keep the humidity levels where we want them in this enclosure. I'll be spraying this one once a week. If the moss or the substrate looks like it's going to be drying out, I'll just go in and spray it a little bit heavier. We don't have to worry about a water dish so much, because this spider, as with a lot of the true spiders, will actually drink droplets of water from off the web as opposed to using a water dish. More moss. Again, moss is absolutely amazing. It will take on 8 times its own weight in water, which again is absolutely fantastic when we want to increase humidity in these enclosures or keep that humidity at a constant level. And I've gone for a 30 by 30 by 30 because normally we keep these in those smaller enclosures, and I wanted to try something different. I want to see if this spider will utilise the whole of this enclosure, and if it does, wouldn't that be absolutely fantastic, especially when it comes to keeping these guys going forward. So she's got room at the back, hiding places at the front, hiding places at the side, and plenty of anchor points. Plus, it just looks like we've picked up some of the forest floor and put it straight into our enclosure. I am addicted to moss, I must admit, but when we get these enclosures with moss and it looks like we've taken them from the forest floor, that really works for me, and I absolutely love it. Looking from front of this enclosure, all that moss. She is just going to absolutely love it in here. Let me know down in those comments what you think about the build so far. I think it's going pretty well. Loads of anchor points, like I said. Loads of those hiding spaces. Fingers crossed this large juvenile will be absolutely perfectly happy and at home. So to rehouse these guys, I take the lid off, I lie it down in the enclosure, and I leave her to walk out all by herself. This can take a good while because these spiders do like to sit on their web and stay there. They feel at home on their web, so you may have to agitate the container that they're in just slightly. But guys, please bear in mind, these are not fast, these are super quick. These are like white lightning going off in a thunderstorm. They are so quick. But just take your time, be careful, and we should have a happy rehousing. And there she is, stunning gold carapace, stunning black legs with that touch. There is an absolute small hint of blue on those legs as well. That gold abdomen, just wow, absolute stunner. If you would imagine this, if this was a tarantula, the whole hobby would be going absolutely crazy for it and paying stupid money for it. But because it's a true spider, it's another one of those spiders that kind of gets overlooked a little bit. They have got a life expectancy of around 3 to 4 years. I have heard of some females from sling to adult and carrying on living to around 5. Males, you're lucky if you get a good year out of those. I would like to find a male for this female and try a little bit of breeding of true spiders and make an enclosure out of it. It makes you feel, takes your mind into the forest enclosure that and relaxes you completely. And you bring it home. Beautiful. Boom! So that was the linothele sericata ex megathaloides rehouse. If you've got this far and not subscribed, remember to hit that subscription button. We are giving away 2 tickets to the Bedford Invert Show very, very soon, so make sure you also got your notifications turned on as well. So the linothele sericata in that big 30 by 30 by 30, enough substrate so she can make a nice burrow if she wants to. They will do this in the wild, and they will throw out web away from that burrow as well. So if any prey comes walking past, she knows no matter how far down that burrow she is, what's going on in the outside world, whether it be prey or indeed a predator coming walking past as well as. Anyway guys, thank you so much. If you want to support the channel, drop a like, drop a comment, give it a share, all the rest of it. If you really want to go an extra step, and please don't feel any pressure to, hit that blue join button and become a channel member. In doing so, you get channel member only lives, a lot of other privy stuff onto the channel members only board, as well as indeed getting 15% discount over at sparspiders.co.uk. Anyway guys, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for your continued support, and as always, we shall see you again on the next one.